Hello, in this session we are going to cover list methods. The following are methods or functions which can be used by list data types. So, we have three columns here. One column will display the functions, one column will display the methods, and the other one will describe what a method or a function will do. The list methods will modify a list, will display a list, will delete a list, and other functions which will be shown in this table. So if we want to add a value at the end of the list, we'll have to use append. So the value is added to the existing list X. If we want to have a look at the number of elements in the list, we can do it using a len of X. If we want to add an existing list to a list, then we can do extend. If we want to delete a value at the specified index, we have to use pop. If we want to delete the first value from the list, we'll have to use remove. If we want to count how many times a value occurs on the list, we'll have to use method count. And at the last one, if we want to delete elements from the list, we'll have to use del and slicing, which we have used also in the string. So first we'll have to write extend. We'll create a variable extend with some odd values 1, 3, 9, 11, 13, 19 and 21. We want to print this out in the console, so just do print extend is equal to, now we want to print the value extend. If we want to execute it, we just do F5. And now we have variable extend will contain numbers 1, 3, 9, 11, 13, 19 and 21. Also the same value is at the variable explorer tab. So extend is the name of the variable, the type of the variable is list, the size is 7, and these are the values of the variable extend. If we want to append a value at the end of the list, we should do extend dot append. We can see that after the dot is typed, we can have a look at a lot of methods which can use for the list. So extend, at the moment we need append, and we want to append the value 23. We want to print this out on the screen. First we have after append, extend is, first we're going to execute the program, and we'll see that after append, extend will have these values 1, 3, 9, 11, 13, 19, 21 and 23. Here at the variable explorer tab, the size of the list is 8, and at the end of the list the value is 23. If we want to see how many elements are there in the list, we can use function len. So first print this out, number of elements in the list are, and here we have comma, len of x10. So now the message is displayed, number of elements in the list are, and 8. We want to add a list to an existing list. We can do this using method extend. So extend dot extend. Now we want to add a list, that's why here we have brackets. Now we have some, let's say, even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 2 and 8. At the end we'll display the message which would say after extend, extend will be these values. So after we have extended the list, now the list will have 16 elements and the list will have values that we have extended, let's say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 2 and 8. And here the size of the list is 16. We'll have a look at the method pop. So in position 4 it's number 13, and if we do x10.pop position 4 is number 13, And after this operation is done, we can see that the number 13 disappears from the list. So after pop, x10 is equal to x10. So now x10 will not have element 13. Okay. Another method which we have used is a remove. So if we do x10 dot remove, what we want to remove? We want to remove, let's say, number 19. So it will search for 19. If it finds it, it will delete it. If it does not find it, it will give you an exception. So after a remove, x10 will become an x10. So first thing first, we can see that the list now has 14 elements and it does not have element 19 because element 19 was removed using method remove. If we would like to remove some elements which does not exist in the list, let's say 196 F5, then we can see that it will give an exception which will say X is not in the list. So we should be careful with this method. If we want to count how many times a value occurs in the list, let's say here we see that the number 2 appears twice in the list, then we can do it using function count. So print number 2 appears. Now we will call the function x10.count. What we want to count? We want to count number 2. Okay, and we want to give a meaning to this sentence. Number 2 appears, let's say, 2 times in the list. F5, execute it, and here we see number 2 appears 2. Here it should be times in the list, 2 times in the list. Okay, and if we want to remove something, we can do removing with del. If we want to remove a slice, we can do x from slice. So let's remove the first 5 elements. Remove x10 from the beginning up until the element 5. This will remove the first 5 elements, and we will display x10 after del. x10 will become x10. If we compare this case with this case, we see that the first 5 elements does not exist in this part here. So 1, 3, 9, 11, 21 does not exist, but it starts with 23. Okay, I think I have covered everything. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.